All right, so some 51 minutes after 6 on the AM show, which is brought to you by Mixi Coffee. Now, there was a shootout yesterday in Kumasi that led to several persons sustaining gunshot wounds, and we're being joined on the phone line now. All right, so we're taking an update now. We're actually going to Kumasi. We're talking to the Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ashanti Regional Police Command, Sergeant Godwin Ahianyo, who's on the line to give us an update. Hello, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for your time. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning, sir. Well, we seem to have lost the sergeant on the line, but we'll link up with him again, Sergeant Godwin Ahianyo, who is the police Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ashanti Regional Police Command, to give us an update of that shootout yesterday at Kenya, Sir Roland.
Right. In the meantime, though, also we'll be speaking to correspondent in the Ashanti region, Mohammed Nuruddin, will be online. But please get interactive. We have the social network page on Facebook. Please search for the page Joynews on TV and also get interactive through the short code 1760. And already we have Mohammed Nuruddin on the line, Mamavi.
Hello, Nuruddin. Good morning. I hope you're well.
Morning, I'm well.
What's the latest on this situation? What do we know?
All right. Situation is calm now. People are conducting their normal businesses. Saw people moving this morning to their various workplaces, and police say they would continue to patrol until everything is totally calm.
Nuruddin, just recap to us what exactly happened yesterday.
What happened was that the angry youth said they are not happy with the road network in the area, and so they wrote to the police asking for permission to embark on a demonstration. So immediately they started their demonstration, and then they wanted to talk to their people, address their people. They heard a gunshots, and they didn't know why the police started shooting gunshots. So we quickly spoke with the police to find out why that actually happened, and the police were telling us that the demonstration, the residents, their actions were getting out of hand, so they needed to come in to calm the thing. So that was why they also intervened.
Okay. So
as a result, some people were injured. They were shooting warning shots.
Yeah, and Nuruddin, it's interesting you mentioned the injured. We're told that some 28 persons were injured. Do we know the states of these people?
Yeah, most of the hospitals that the clinic and the hospital, especially at the dementia hospital, where I visited, those they were discharged. Most of them were discharged, and they are doing well now. We are here to visit them and find out their condition this morning. But we haven't gotten. Earlier in the morning, we were able to count about. I personally saw about 3 of them, which I took their photos. But for the rest, the police were also telling us that 5 people were injured, and then the residents were also saying there were more than that. So I think today we will be finding out number of people who were actually injured, and but like I said, the so they were discharged. There was this man that people thought people were claiming, and there were rumors all over that he is dead. One guy who got injured, and one of our colleagues sent him to Menchia Hospital. So people thought the way he was lying down and his condition before they sent him to the hospital, he was almost dead. But that wasn't the situation. We went back to the hospital, and by the time we reached there, he was already discharged.
Okay.
So,
Mohammed, all right. Mohammed Nuruddin, Ashanti Regional Correspondent, thank you so much for that update. But we're also being joined on the line now, rejoined actually, by the Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ashanti Regional Police Command, Sergeant Godwin Aheanyo, and Roland will be engaging him.
Now, if significantly, we will have to do a content analysis of what you've been saying from the latter part of Monday. We get the feeling that you said your troops or your personnel retaliated as a result of some level of reactionary force from the demonstrators. Was that the case?
Yes, it's true. You know, as I spoke to your colleague yesterday on your evening news, I actually told him that the demonstrators who had earlier on promised to embark on a peaceful demonstration had resorted to rioting, and then some of them even went on rampaging, destroying government property. Some even forced a whole electricity pole down. They also smashed our police vehicles. So, realizing that the youth had become violent, we resorted to the use of tear gas, because we have something in our professional duty as what we call graduation of force. When you go to scenes like this, where there are demonstrators, and then they are becoming somehow violent, we use what we call verbal communication.
Well, we do understand that, Sergeant Ahianyo, but more significantly, is it not your professional duty that if you have been called to undertake this very assignment and you are, so to speak, protecting these very unarmed civilians, whether they're demonstrating or not, you are expected to show some force of restraint? Is that not the professional case?
My brother, that's what I'm saying. Initially, they were not armed. Later on, they started resorting to the use of stones and anything that they lay hands on. They'll be throwing it at the police. 4 of our men fell as a result of their rampaging act. And when we resorted to the tear gas and the rubber bullets, they were still becoming more violent. And anytime demonstrators tend to be roused and they become that violent, we have the right, after all means have failed, we have the right to resort to live ammo. And we never, as I indicated earlier, we never used it on them. We never fired into the crowd. We gave one shot just to disperse them, and I assure you, my good brother, that when we started resorting to the use of the live ammo, then they started playing for their dear life, because they realized that the police is becoming more serious in their duty. So we never initially used the live ammo as it's being peddled out there. We started, if your reporters were there, they can testify to that. We started with the verbal, we went ahead with the anti-rout equipment. Then we then had to go in for the live ammo, and we never fired into the crowd. I want to make that one clear for the public to know that police never went there to kill any innocent person.
Oh, well, we do understand that nobody lost his or her life, but significantly also, if there should be future, perhaps such encounters for which they will need your service in any other community at all, does that mean that people's lives would be at risk just because purportedly they have become a bit agitated, if not even violent?
As an institution, being trained to engage the public anytime we are called in. And whenever we are called in to bring such situation to a halt, we make sure that when we go there, we don't do anything in Essex. And for that matter, in future, when we are called in, we will still go by our way of doing things. We will engage them. If it doesn't work and they become violent, then we have to resort to the rubber bullets and the tear gas, whatever we can use to actually bring situations to its normalcy. We will do it.
Sergeant Ahianyo, do we know if this demonstration was just about poor conditions of roads in the Kumasi area? Because it sounds to me as if there's something more to that.
No, when the organizers visited the regional command, they assured the commander that it is going to be a demonstration against the poor nature of their roads. And for that matter, they were just going to embark on that peaceful demo and then go and then convert at a school park where they would then present a petition to the minister. So all along, our discussion with them was a peaceful demonstration until some of the youth decided to go on rampage, destroying government property, blocking the road.
Why? Why? Do we know why?
According to the organizers, some of the youth decided to disobey their orders and go and then do other things against what they decided to do initially.
Well, so what action are you taking next? Because there have been some civil society organizations who thought perhaps the actions of the police was a bit brutal.
Sorry, I'm just disappointed, excuse me to say, some of the newspapers, how they reported the story. That some
they have the right to do so, don't they?
Well, but I don't think as a journalist you have to cross-check your facts right before you come out with a newspaper story with a front page indicating that 2 persons actually died, whereas it isn't true. Also, what we are saying is that whenever we engage the public in any form of rioting, being it demonstration, rioting, rampaging act, we always will resort to the necessary, reasonable force to bring situations to normalcy, my good brother.
Okay, so this was reasonable force in your own estimation or according to your professional standards?
Exactly, because when we resorted to all the necessary means, or the correspondence to the force of the rampaging youth, we had to then come up with what we did yesterday to be able to bring the situation under control.
Before we let you go, though, the community members and even their leaders who embarked on this very demonstration have given the indication that they will keep on demonstrating until their problems or their roads are rehabilitated. Is this going to still be their fate? Each time they demonstrate and they get agitated, you pounce on them?
Well, you are telling us, but then yesterday, the MP of the area, Honorable Kofi Frimpong, and the opinion leaders were with the regional police commander, and they assured the regional police commander they were going to talk to the youth and then advise them. They were even going to hold meetings with all opinion leaders in the 4 communities that embarked on that demonstration that turned out to be violent to forestall any future occurrence. So we don't expect that they go do the same thing that they did yesterday. But all the same, our men will still be on the ground to make sure we maintain the peace that we all want to enjoy in the community and in the region at large.
Well, thank you very much. We'll have to get back to you, I'm sure, in other subsequent programs. We will do that. We're speaking to the Deputy PRO for Ashanti Regional Command Police, Sergeant Ganyo, or Ahianyo. And he's been giving us the latest update as to what sort of show of force that the police really showed in that very Kenyasi demonstration over poor roads in the very community by young people in the area.
Okay, so some 5 minutes after 7, we'll come back with the headlines on the hour.
Well, so we're ready now. We've had some significant problems as far as we're concerned with the current state of the health sector. Just on Monday, there was an indication from the Ghana Chamber of Pharmaceuticals that they will suspend services to government health facilities. that will have a significant toll if that is done on the current health sector.
Exactly, and we want to find out more on this particular story. So we're being joined on the phone line by Mr. Stanley Ajay, who's head of research. We'll actually be joined by Mr. Stanley Ajay in a bit. But in the meantime, thank you for all the messages, the love that you've been sharing with us via Facebook. A couple of your messages on this particular one, which is the Ghana Chamber of Pharmacy saying that effective 10th of February 2014, they will suspend drug supplies to hospitals nationwide because of the arrears owed them under the National Health Insurance Scheme. I mean, did I say that there was everything okay with the National Health Insurance Scheme?
Well, yes. There's everything okay. The only difficulty is that they don't get to pay their suppliers and service providers as quickly as they can.
But that doesn't make everything okay then.
Well, that's Ghana for you.
Okay, well, but we've got lots and lots of messages from a whole lot of you. Obviously, we cannot share all, but we'll try. Sechi Richards says, so are we moving forward as a nation? Cheer, Charlie, this cheer.
Has taken all over. It's now a social media craze, especially on Twitter. The last time I tweeted, when the local blasters were playing, I said, cheer, these people, they are not good enough, you know. But it goes with it. I guess it creates some level of fun. And some level of enthusiasm in the country.
But it's also interesting how a lot of you on Facebook are politicizing this issue.
Okay.
And so, I mean, obviously, I won't be able to read all. Osman Double says, is it the hospitals which owe the national, the pharmacies or the NHIS government? Why all these? So I guess there's a bit of government in there. There's a bit of the National Health Insurance in there as well. I mean, but who is to be blamed for the arrears, really? I mean, is it so difficult for us to just pay?
The point is, I guess the inflows. The inflows are supposed to come because these have been designated. We have when you pay VAT, there's an item that's supposed to go to the National Health Insurance Scheme, and they use part of the talk time tax as well. But the point is, I guess because it's all put in a certain consolidated fund, so sometimes the disbursement becomes a difficulty on the part of government.
So why don't they just, I mean, instead of putting it in the fund, why don't they just give it to them direct?
Well, that's the argument on the political circles. But you and I are not politicians, so but we just have to do a turnaround talk.
But you know, sometimes you just want to think like a normal person, straight to the point.
Why
and then sometimes you wonder, can't our leaders think the same way sometimes?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Can't we just think straight?
I guess when you're in government, things are not as easy as we say it on the outside.
I guess things are not as straight as we think they should be.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but somebody should be giving us some answers, and we'll try and find out more details on this. Really, I mean, February 10 is just sometime next week, isn't it?
What has been done, though, according to a release from the Ministry of Health, we're being told also by officials of the National Health Insurance Authority that some significant money has been released. We're being told in excess of some 100 million Ghana cedis. And so by the 10th, that will be the close of the beginning of next week. So that will be the beginning of next week, Monday. They should have paid whatever they owed. Well, up to some couple of months. Not all, because they've not paid since we're being told June.
Okay, let me just read to you the story as we have it now. The Ghana Chamber of Pharmaceuticals on Monday declared the intention to suspend supply of medicines to hospitals under the National Health Insurance Scheme from February 10, 2014. A statement signed by Mr. Stanley Ajay, who is head of research and advocacy to the Ghana News Agency in Accra, said the decision followed the failure on the part of the service providers under the NHIS to reimburse the distributors for medicines supplied. And fortunately for us, we do have Mr. Stanley Ajay, who's head of research and advocacy at the Ghana Chamber of Pharmaceuticals, on the phone line. Good morning to you, sir. If you can hear me, thank you for your time.
Yeah, good morning to you and to your listeners, and very much welcome.
Okay, so you've issued a statement that if you are not paid monies owed to you by the 10th of February, you're going to stop the distributions of medicines. What does it really mean?
It really means a lot, to the extent that the suppliers, the suppliers of the pharmaceutical distributors are supplies a chunk of the drug within our health delivery system. And for the past 6 months, and in some cases 8 months, to up to about 10 months in some cases, we've not been paid, and it has really stretched the pharmaceutical establishment to their limit, and they've exhausted options going for overdraft, etc., so as to address the funding gaps, etc. But to the extent that there has not been payment over means that they've been stretched, warehouses have run out of stock. So beyond even saying it as a threat, it's rather, or it can more actually be said that the distributors have run out of stock, and they are unable to sustain supply to the hospitals, and until something is done by way of full payment, so as to be able to bring some normalcy into operation. They may not, so beyond being a threat, they may not even be in a position. As you know, when you are unable to supply especially essential drugs, I mean, we are looking at a disaster of a sort.
Mr. J, what's the difference between the Ghana Chamber of Pharmaceuticals and the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana? What's the link?
The Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana represents the professional group, that is the professional body representing pharmacists. That is pharmacists, that are the professionals within the sector. And the Pharmaceutical Chamber sort of represents the interests of the pharmaceutical establishment. That are the businesses within the sector. So there's a vast difference. So this is business related, and those the society is a group of individuals made up of the professionals. And this a company or organization-based body. Okay.
But Mr. J, you're saying that these arrears go as far back as May, July 2013. So why would you wait all this while and then decide to take an action like this just yesterday?
Issues of health has to do with life related, and there is something, this is purely supposed to be a business or a private between a distributor and a health facility. So you might want to exhaust all possible means by way of trying hard or doing your best to get it by way of negotiation on, but it seems to have failed, and it has gotten to a level that the generality of the public must as well be known, so that we all join forces and ask that the authorities can do something about it to salvage the situation.
Mr. J, a quick update. We're being told that the NHIS has actually made some payments, probably have not reflected yet, or you haven't received yet, but have you heard anything?
Yes, just as we, following from the news and with discussions, we understand the minister has released some funds to the National Health Insurance, which will in turn pay the health facilities, and they will also pay the distributor. But at this point in time, all we can say is a statement of good intention. I mean, they've shown, but beyond that, we expect to hear that full payments are being made, because it's a sort of a disaster for the indebtedness to continue to stand. The full payments at this point ought to be made as to salvage the situation, because we are talking about having been stretched, so you have to pay your debtors by of your creditors, your suppliers. Some salaries may be outstanding, utilities, etc. So anything short of full payments may not come to really restore operations to normalcy. And to add, the money to stay even for a day or two will not also be in interest in the face of the depreciation of the cedi, because most of the drugs are imported, and you do your calculations based on an exchange rate of, say, 2 cedi. And by the time you have paid, the cedi has depreciated by substantially. So you may not be even in the position to get that same amount for your next consignment. So something ought to be done by all full payments, so that at least, and we have a sort of a routine where we don't have, say, penalty clause, or maybe a month or two, you've defaulted in payment and it attracts a 5% on the default. There's nothing like that. Meanwhile, you might have used loan to supply the drug or something, then your loan that was used in the supply is piling up whilst the money sits there intact, nothing is being added. So the best thing of having to salvage the situation or to save us is full payment. So that
payment.
Payments will be done at various levels to restore sanity and normalcy so that we can continue. So,
Mr. J, one final thing. Are you saying that if this money's being paid right now, if the money being paid right now is not full payment, we'll still see you embark on this action by the 10th of February?
And like I earlier said, it's not too much of even a threat, but it's sort of saying the state of affairs as it is that as many of them have even run out of supply or they may not be able to sustain supply. So the best thing to happen is payment to be done so that you can equally restore your operations and be able to import as normal. Anything short of will mean partial or restoration of
Mr. J, I get what it means, but I just want to know if, despite the efforts being made right now, are you saying that anything short of full payment will mean you're still embarking on this action by the 10th of February?
The efforts will be substantial, and if nothing is done, then we may not be in the position to do full service or be able to act as we are to act. We might not have been able to do a lot of importation and etc. So we are not in the position to restore the operations to normal.
Okay, so that will be a yes then?
It will be a yes of a sort. So we must really find a way to really bring standards, to restore or to bring normalcy in, so the health delivery can continue to function.
Mr. Stanley Ajay, we'll continue the discussion again very soon. Thank you so much for your time. And Mr. Stanley Ajay is the Head of Research and Advocacy at the Ghana Chamber of Pharmaceuticals.
Wow. So right now we'll have to take a short break, and we hope that the Ghana Chamber of Pharmacy, okay, they don't embark on this very action, because it is going to have a toll on especially government health facilities, and especially as we already have heard across the media space that there's been some level of commitment from the Ministry of Health or government, so to speak. We hope that all these impasse will be resolved. But in the meantime, please get in interactive. Many of you have been sending a lot more of your comments on this very subject as to whether it's Shia or not through the short code 1760, and also having gone through the page on Facebook, Joy News on TV. Right now we're taking a short break, Mama V.
Yeah, we'll come back with a whole lot more. Stay with us. Still on the AM show.